Hi, so in this video I'm going to be playing a recording that I made because when I made it I must have accidentally muted myself. So now I'm going to play it and I'm just going to narrate what I was trying to do in that video so that you get a better explanation. So this is the video here, I'm just going to play it from the beginning. So the last thing we did in our project was we got our ship moving more like a car. So you can see it's just going and then we can just turn and then just there's no kind of physics, momentum going on there. So we've got our turn rate. We don't actually want the resolve vector there. We don't want to be resolving the vector every time. We only want to resolve the vector and have a thrust when we press a button to go forward. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting in another method, and the method that I'm putting in is thrust, and we're going to resolve our velocity there instead. So we're going to move the resolve velocity into there. So from the angle we calculate which direction we need to go when we thrust, and we're going to bind the thrust onto some key input, and the key input that I've decided to put it on is the up arrow key. So if we don't know what the up arrow key is, but up is 38, so we're just checking for the game window check key 38, and then that basically detects for a enter key, and when we press enter, not press enter, up key, and when we press up we want this thing to thrust. So we only want it to thrust when we press up. We don't want it to keep thrusting if we don't press up, right? We don't want to add more acceleration onto it. So that's let's test that one out. So it's fine now. As you can see that the thrust is happening. Yep, as we press up. And of course that one is, we can change the speed so we can have a stronger thrust. So now it's 3, so it goes faster. So it's thrusting at 3, a speed of 3. And then the angles are changed by the left and right arrow key, which is 37 and 39 there. So that's good. Now the issue is we don't want it to when we thrust it goes to 3 straight away. We want some kind of acceleration. So what I'm doing here is I'm adding I want to add some kind of acceleration, like a thrust rate, so that it slowly gets to, well, not slowly, but it gets to 3. It doesn't jump to the speed of 3 straight away. It kind of gets to 3, and we need acceleration. We need to kind of control this acceleration. Acceleration is a change in speed, right? It's a change in speed, and right now this thing is calculating the speed. It's not changing the speed per se, or rather not increasing the velocity, right? It's not increasing its speed. So what we need to do is we need to handle the increasing of the speed. Now the actual game object handles the increasing of the it handles the speed. It's adding h speed and v speed to the location, so it can move at a constant rate. What we need to do now is add to the v speed and h speed. So the game object adds to the position to get a speed. We need to add to the speed to get an acceleration, right? And we're going to use thrust rate to do that. So we don't want to use resolve velocity. Resolve velocity just gets our velocity. We want to use resolve vector so that we can increase the acceleration. So what we're going to do is we're going to use resolve vector, and we're going to put in the magnitude as the thrust rate. So we're going to figure out how strongly should we thrust this thing, at what angle, and we're going to add that to our v speed and h speed. And this is basically our acceleration components, our horizontal and vertical acceleration components. And we're going to add those components, the x component, to the h speed. So h speed equals accel plus equals accel dot x. So that's to increase the velocities. And this is the me dot v speed plus equal accelerate dot y. So that pretty much the code to accelerate. Now we need to actually give it a thrust rate because that's a new parameter we've added into our method. And now if we were to press up, well actually it's not working right now. So in this video I don't seem to get it working because in Foresight the issue is 0.3, it gets rounded down. 3 will work because 3 gets rounded down to 3. 1 will work, so I actually tried the value 1. But 0.3 doesn't work. 1 will work because 1 gets rounded down to 1. So that works. But 0.3 gets rounded down to 0, and so it's not moving. So in hindsight, I spend the next 5 minutes trying to figure that out, trying to fix that up. And you need to keep following because there are a few places where we need to fix our code. Bad programming practice, unfortunately, for me, because I'm rushing. So it's not a good. It's not good. 0.5 obviously won't work because that gets rounded down to 0, and I'm trying to press the button right now. It's not working. Pressing up and it's not working. It's not thrusting. And now just keep track here of the things that I fix. And I'll pause and let you know. So what I'm doing now is just checking. Everything's kind of seems okay. So here's the issue. So one of the issues is this is where it's actually rounding it. So it works it out here, and then it prints off point, and this is not a point F, which doesn't give you a floating point. So we need to put an F there, and I also need to put an F here as well, right? And I should make these as singles, but I do that. I spend 4 minutes, trying to figure that out. But so really they're the major fixes. Put an F there, and put as single there, and that will fix that part. Anyway, I do it here, but I don't do it here or here, so it won't work. There are other places I do fix. I do fix ones here as well. So F needs to be put here and here, and also the add point here needs to have all point F. So really, I'm just going through, and every time I have a point, I should put an F in it. So we'll put it here, here, and here. That will fix the issue. And also we need to return the new F here. We need to add that, which I forgot to write. All right, so anything else we need to fix? Oh, that's right. This doesn't return anything, so a sub is fine. It just sets our velocity. So we need to put a sub there, sub there. It's not working because I still need to put an F right here. So let's just keep looking at what other fixes I make. So I'm testing it again. Of course, that's not going to work. So what I do now is I do a breakpoint, and I go through it slowly just to look at each value inside each variable there, just to see where exactly is it rounding it down. And then over here, it's just 0.5. It hasn't rounded down at this point, but it will round it right here. So when it comes out of this function, it's going to be 0. And you can see here, this is 0 now. So you notice that that's 0. So it rounded at this point, right? So that's kind of the last fix there. So actually at this point in time, you can pretty much finish off this video. I'll just show you what I actually do at the end. Yeah, this is the last kind of fix that you need to do. Let me just get there. Yeah, the last fix is I'll put as single here. And then as single here. And finally put an F at the end of the point there. And I'll just show you that part when we actually figure that out. It takes me like that long to figure out. Let's just check here. Oops, I think I did a bit earlier. Here we go. So I'll put the F there. And that's it. That's the last fix. And it should work. Anyway, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.